Hi friends, today we're going to do the I Dare You book tag. I was tagged a long time ago. I am so sorry, it's just now taking me like forever ago. You tagged me and I'm just not doing it. By the wonderful channel, The Bookzealots. So go check them out, give them some love. And I don't think I know who created this tag. I tried to do a bit of research and yeah, I don't think Bookzealots had tagged them either, so I don't think they know either. But anyway, we're just going to go rapid fire style. I'm not going to hold up any books or any fancy pictures. We're just going to go boom, 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 get this out there into the world for Tag Tuesday. All right, first prompt. What book has been on your shelf the longest? Currently on my shelf, now there's a bunch of books that are on my mom's shelf in her library that were mine as a child. But I have a copy of A Wrinkle in Time, which is one of my favorites of all time, that literally is falling to pieces, falling apart. It is one I've had since childhood that ended up on my shelf because I've just reread it over and over. I recently got a new one. The old one I don't think has been disposed of because it's so sad. It was my childhood one. Number 2, what is your current read? Last read in the book you'll read next. So my current read is Demons by Fyodor Dostoevsky, but I'm reading that with my friend Courtney Reeds. My last read was called Lime Juice Money by somebody named Joe Mori. This was about Brazil. Lots of good things about the book, lots of bad things about the book. I'll talk more about it when I wrap it up. And then next, well, I mean, I'm going to be on Demons for months, but I'm going to be reading other things too. It's a book called The Founding Mother. Will also be for my in-person book club. We're read around the world. The last one, the Lime Juice Money, was when we were reading about Belize. And so this will be about America because it's about Abigail Adams. A lot of people read this for Red, White, and June. I did not read it for Red, White, and June, which makes it perfect because I'm going to read it for my in-person book club. But I'll be reading Demons for probably months. 3, what book did everyone like but you hated? Well, now, I think most of my BookTube friends actually did not like this, but when I first was like looking at BookTube and everything, everybody kept talking about that book, Verity. I've talked about this before. I didn't know that Colleen Hoover was really a romance writer. It sounded kind of more like a mystery, and I was going to read that, and then I very quickly put it down. So, yeah, I wouldn't recommend picking that up if you avoid smut. So, 4, what book do you keep telling yourself you'll read, but you probably won't? Oh, Master Long Thing by Proust, probably. What book are you saving for retirement? That is a good question. Tomorrow's not promised to us, so we should read it now, but I'm trying to think of things that I'm like, ooh, I'll read that later. Something I've been putting off is like Plutarch's Lives, but I think I'm going to be reading that like in the next year or so with my kids for school. I'll read it and then I'll eventually, before too long, be retiring from homeschooling. How about that? I'll read that for my homeschool retirement, one of my last books with, I can't because I'll have, my youngest kid is 2.5 years, but actually 3 grades just because of the way his birthday fell. Younger than my middle child, so that doesn't really work that. But anyway, we'll just say that one for now. 6, last page. Read it first or wait till the end. Wait till the end. I mean, I can't say that when I was like 9, I didn't do that, but now as a more mature adult, I would never spoil myself. 7, acknowledgement. Waste of paper and ink or interesting aside. I think it's not a waste of paper and ink for the people that are getting thanked, that's for sure, and it's definitely an insight and a window into the artist's heart and their soul and who and what they appreciate. 8, which book character would you switch places with? I love my life. I wouldn't want to switch with anyone long term, but I think short term, I would switch with Lucy from the Chronicles of Narnia because she was the child that was closest in relationship to Aslan, and Aslan represents the Lord, so I would switch with Lucy. 9, do you have a book that reminds you of something specific in your life, place, time, person? Several. But the one that's coming to my mind right now is The Summer of the Monkeys by Wilson Rowell. My 3rd grade teacher read that to me, and I remember laughing. I remember being almost teary-eyed and just having the best time with it. And I don't remember if we did this or we just talked about doing it. I think we wrote or talked about writing letters to Michael Landon from Aging Myself to see if he could make a movie of it. Disney eventually did make a movie of it. I have not seen the film. Let me know if it's worth us watching. 10, name a book that you acquired in an interesting way. I don't know. Book I acquired in an interesting way. Oh, like when I had toddlers, this lady in Goodwill, she was leaving with books that were part of a set, and she just handed me a kid's book one time. I think it was like a Dora the Explorer book or something like that. It's random. I don't think we have it anymore. 11, have you ever given a book away for a special reason to a special person? Yes. Well, I had bought a hard copy of The Blue Castle for myself because it is one of my favorite books, my favorite romance. And even though she is a teenager and a little young for romance, I gave it to my daughter because I want her, when she reads romances, for them to be good, wholesome ones like that. 12, which book has been with you most places, other than obviously the Bible? That's a tough one. I'd say probably Sally Clarkson's The Mission of Motherhood. I went through it slowly. I remember taking it in the car with me, waiting while my kids were like in lessons or something to read it. I'm not sure if that's the right answer, but that's what I'm going to say right now. Any required reading you hated in high school that wasn't so bad 2 years later? I don't know about 2 years later. I would suspect that some of the things I disliked that I felt were boring, that maybe about missionaries or Moby Dick, maybe even, I didn't enjoy at all. Because all the description of fish and whales and whaling and how that worked was so boring to me. I might enjoy the actual story better now. Used or brand new? Typically used, although it's always fun to get a brand new one, but typically used. Have you ever read a Dan Brown book? I fell down that rabbit hole in the early 2000s. Have you ever seen a movie you liked better than the book? I don't know about movie, but I can answer for television show. The show Bones is about a forensic anthropologist, and there are mystery series based on this one anthropologist wrote this series, and then they turned it into a TV show. I read the first book, and I did not really enjoy it at all, but I really enjoyed the television show Bones. I think I've gotten this question in a different tag before and had the same answer. Have you ever read a book that made you hungry, cookbooks included? Farmer Boy did, because there are so many descriptions of Ma in that book making like good country cooking. Like we're talking about description of mashed potatoes. I'm from the South, friends. I like my mashed potatoes and such. Who is the person whose book advice you will always take? I would say that would be, now I won't always agree with it, I'm sure, because we're always all different, but I have not had a bad buddy read yet. Oh, that's not true. We did have one bad buddy read that we didn't even finish the book. But any book that Dia has recommended to me that we've buddy read and we've actually finished, I've had good experience with Dia. And is there a book out of your comfort zone, example, out of your usual reading genre that you ended up loving? I recently read Seeking Persephone, which is a Regency romance, and I very rarely read specifically, not very rarely, not more than like 3 a year, read romance specific books. And I really enjoyed that book. I thought it was sweet and kind of a comfort read. So those are all the questions. I'm going to tag a couple of people. I'm going to tag Alyssa's Faith, and I'm going to tag Molly Popplewell. All right, friends, I hope you read a lot. Bye-bye.